And I'm Nat, the Red Ninja,
and
we are the Ninja Business Chicks.
Thank you so much for joining us on our 12 Ninja Stars to Explode Your Business webinar. We're very excited to have you with us. I just wanted to quickly ask, can everyone hear me okay? I just want to make sure that you can all hear me. If you can just let me know in the little chat window or in the question box, that would be awesome.
And that you can see our PowerPoint slide.
And that you can see our PowerPoint slide, exactly. We can see a lot of you are still logging into the webinar, so we'll just wait a minute before we move along. Thanks, Elaine and Janice, you're letting us know that you can hear us, which is awesome.
Cool.
I hope we all had an amazing day today. We know we did.
Yeah.
And we'll get cracking in just a moment. I can just see a few more people are logging into the webinar.
Here, hello, Jane. How you going? Looking forward to it. So are we, Eleni. Do you want to tell them about
Yes.
Yep.
So we have some bad news to break to you.
Good and bad news.
You're not actually going to be able to see our faces live as we had intended. Unfortunately, if you want to have more than 25 people on a call, which we already have, you need to use GoToWebinar, which doesn't allow webcam use. GoToMeeting, for example, does, but they limit you to only 25 people. We've already hit over 25 people, and we thought it's better that we let you share all this information with you. And what I'm going to do, being the virtual girl and working from home, we're actually going to record ourselves doing it right now live while we're talking. So I'll record a bit of Nat will record a bit of me, and we're going to splice it into the video at the end when we upload the video for those of you that have missed out. So you can actually watch us talking and giving you the answers to your questions live, off the top of our head, but it's not going to be live. I'm really sorry, everyone.
And the thing is, we are sitting here with our headbands.
I'm wearing purple for you.
And I'm wearing red, and I've got my headbands. If you can just have that visual picture up in your mind as to what we're looking like, and just keep that there for yourselves, and then you'll have the video to see what it's like. But really excited to see you. So just hello to Fiona. And Eleni says you can see as well, and Catherine. So they're all good with it. Here she is. She's recording me right now. All right, let's get cracking. And as people arrive, they'll just join us and get listening. So do you want to hit it off and introduce yourself to those ones that don't know you, Donna?
What, you mean there are actually people that haven't heard of me? Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, my name's Donna and I am the Purple Ninja. And I like to call myself actually the work from home queen. So what I actually do is for about 7 years now, I've been running a virtual assistant practice. So for those of you that are watching the screen and don't know what VA stands for, it stands for virtual assistant. And I've been hello, Jane. I've been very successful with that. And because of my success, I've actually now moved a little bit more to mentoring a whole lot of people in starting their own virtual assistant business, and also helping people to run their own home-based business, regardless of whether they're being a VA or not. I do a lot of speaking, excuse me, and a lot of PD days. And I have authored my book, Working Your PJ. And Nat and I actually have our own book about to come out in less than a month, is it, Nat, now?
Yeah, mid March.
Excellent. I'm so excited about that. I was nominated for the Telstra Business Women of the Year twice. This is my second year. I'm really excited about that as well. And now, literally, while my VA business is running, I just spend my entire time supporting people and really helping people have that work-life balance, working from home and making a good living from it as well.
Awesome. Great. She's fantastic. And Donna and I celebrated our 1 year anniversary last Friday. It was actually meant to be on Valentine's Day. That's how long we have known each other and partnership, and we're so excited and have had such amazing feedback from the Ninja Business Chicks. But just a little bit about me before we get cracking into the voting as to what 3 out of the 12 Ninja Stars we will give you an insight into, so you can walk away with lots of action points and value to take away. And before I tell you a little bit about myself, I just want to let you know that I love a very interactive group. I run a lot of webinars all of the time, whether it's for my business or I do some facilitation for the Coaching Institute. So I'm on these calls quite a lot, and I expect my students to interact with me, because the best gold comes out of us when you actually ask us those questions that we haven't thought about covering off. So my background starts off with human behavior and mindset, where I completed a degree in applied science in psychology and psychophysiology. And about 2 years and 9 months ago, I I started my business, which was Ultimate Weight Loss. It wasn't called Ultimate Weight Loss to begin with. It was called something very ambiguous, PRS Coaching, and what that really stands for. And until I published my first book, The 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss, which was 13 months into my journey, I didn't do too well. That was the real big turnaround point, was the publishing of my book and formalizing the business under the branding of Ultimate Weight Loss, Lose the Last 10 Kilos. And as you can see, the top 2 niches that I have developed have a very specific problem, a solution that they solve a problem. What? They solve a specific problem for people. So that's the trick in getting a fantastic business, is about not being everything to everyone, but being quite specific. You can see I've got all the qualifications in terms of being a certified coach, as well as a PCC coach, which is quite rare here in Australia. And it's probably about 50 people that are actually under this particular qualification there. And I recently was published and have a chapter in You Can Live the Life of Your Dreams. So we're going to have 3 books under our name, Donna. And so that's all about that's it about us. What we want to do right now, though, let's get cracking into the content. And this is the time where you guys need to start voting. Now, prior to the webinar on the Facebook event page, we started collecting votes on which of the top 3 stars would people like to find out most about. So far we have, well, I won't tell you what's leading. What I want every one of you on this call is to start typing 3 of the 12 stars that you would like us to cover off tonight. So we're going to do this for 3 or 4 minutes so we can get it down on our tally board, and then we're going to announce which 3 we're going to be discussing tonight. And what we'll do is spend 15 minutes on each star and give you an insight and lots of tips and action points as to what it's about, because they're not what they seem.
No, and you really, obviously, all 12 stars is the complete package. If you learned about all of them, then you would really be able to take your business to the next level. But obviously, we haven't got all night, so pick your favorite 3, and we will just give you a little sneak peek into it. We could talk probably for hours on each of them, and we won't be able to do that. So just pick the top 3 you want to learn about, or you want to uncover what is this very enticing title that we've given them all. And that way we'll be able to a lot of you have got some very similar ones. That's quite interesting.
Yeah. As Donna's talking, I'm actually marking them off on my little tally. So keep typing them up, and I'm adding them all up as we speak.
I'll let you in on a little secret. A lot of you are saying connect, which is really cool. Star number 7. Is that because it's lucky number 7? I wonder.
We did this particular training, the 12 full stars, not this weekend, the weekend before. So we delivered this whole 12 stars over a whole weekend. So you can imagine how much we actually talked about each of these points. And I think one of the attendees from the training is also here with us on the call. Let me see.
I'm actually recording Natasha taking the tally, so it is real. She's really doing it. We're not picking the ones that we think you want. We're actually going to do the ones that you like and or you want to learn about. So I'm going to share that little video with you at the end. Oh, some of them are in the lead.
I know. They're jumping back and forward. It's really funny. Okay, here we go. I'm still going down the list, guys. That's why it's taking me a little bit longer. Yes, the Ninja Medium is on the line. And Anthony, he's given himself a name. Leverage. Hang on.
I think we're reaching our tally, are we not?
We're nearly there. Has everyone had their vote? I'm down to the end of the list. So let me. Hang on. There's one more here. Keep typing them up, guys, because I'm on top of it. And let's have a look.
All right.
Okay, I think
that's it.
All right, that's it. We're gonna stop right here. Is there any more? No, we're gonna stop right here. All right.
What are the 3, Nat? Tell me.
The top one, number 1 star that we'll cover off tonight will be Attract.
Woo!
Number 2 star. Well, that had 12 votes. Number 2 star we're gonna talk about tonight is Connect, and number 3. Oh, there's a tie.
Oh no! Which one are we gonna do?
Oh, well, I'll give it across to the guys. Whoever is the first one to type in which one they want. Out of leverage and mindset, that's what I will go with. Leverage or mindset?
Go.
Which one? Leverage and mindset. mindset. No one mindset. All right, we'll do mindset. Cool. Excellent.
Of course we'll do mindset. That's Natasha's speciality.
Yeah.
You should see the smile on her face right now.
Because I sent it to their mind so they would type in mindset. Okay, yeah, that was leverage, mindset. Okay, perfect.
Benjamin looks really happy.
Benjamin's excited. Yes. All right, so let's get cracking into. Let's start off with a tract. So, what is a tract all about? This is actually the way we did it with Donna. 6 of these are hers, and 6 of them are mine. So I specialize, and she's going to cover off attract and connect, and I'll obviously add value in there as well because I know them quite in a lot of detail. But she takes them at the training, and I obviously cover off mindset as we know. So start us off, Donna. What is attract all about?
Okay, dun dun dun. Drum roll. Attract is all about knowing your client. Knowing your client and knowing your target market. I know some of you might be thinking, oh, yes, I know that, I've heard that. But you know what? Probably a lot of you know it, but you actually don't make the most of it and actually think about it and use it. Anthony probably knows a lot about this already, but that's okay. He can add his little bit as well for us. But what we really want you to do, and remember, I've only got 15 minutes to talk to you about it, so I'm going to try and give you as much as I can as possible. But what Natasha and I found when running our businesses is that it's much easier to grow your database and make more sales if you have a very specific market or a very specific client. What's that line that you have? Keep it narrow, but keep it deep.
Yes. I have the best niches are niches that are deep but narrow.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's very specific, but there are a lot of people in that niche rather than having a very specific niche and only 1 or 2 people fit into it, because obviously that's not going to really work out. So a good example might be for the fact that one of my target markets might be thought leaders in my virtual assistant business. So thought leaders is a very broad category. So I might say, I'm only looking for people that work in this industry, that do this kind of work. This is the kind of turnover that they have. These are how many people are in their team. And this is how much they're prepared to spend on getting virtual support. It's a very specific group. And because I know the group and I know exactly who I'm after and what I am looking for, it's very easy for me to articulate it to people. So when someone, when you go to a networking event, what's one of the things they always teach you at BNI and Heartlink and all those other groups? Who is your ideal client? Who are you looking for? Well, I know very specifically who I'm looking for. And if I want to share that, it's really easy because I'm so clear on who my target market or my ideal client is. And that power means that anybody else who might be thinking about who they could refer to me, they know clearly who I'm looking for, regardless of whether it's themselves or somebody else.
Yeah, and so you need to have that specific picture of who it is in your mind, because when I started out in business, I had an idea of what, say my very first business was Ultimate Weight Loss. So I had the specific idea who my person was, but as I kept working with my client, I got to know them a lot better. And what we have and what we do when we design our copy for who our target market is we have this questionnaire, the ideal client questionnaire. So how old is your ideal client? Are they female or male? Where do they live? Do they live in East Melbourne, North Melbourne? Where specifically? You need to have that one person that you're speaking to. You cannot speak to any women 30 to 50 years old who have, who work in the, in the admin industry or whatever it is. So you need to have someone specific in mind. For example, my ideal client for Ultimate Weight Loss is Jane. Jane is 37 years old. She has 2 children and she earns $50,000 to $80,000 per year. Her secret desire is to lose the last 10 kilos. She has tried many different diets and, however, hasn't been able to achieve her goal weight. So she's been a Weight Watcher, she's been on shakes, she's tried personal training, all of that sort of stuff. So all of these questions are to be answered. And this particular document, it's quite an in-depth document, and we're more than happy to share the template with you. And if you'd like that, just let us know. But I'll quickly flash across to what that document looks like just to show you on the screen. And Here are the questions. What age are they? Where do they live? Do they have a family? What do they want? What are their secret desires? What keeps them awake at night? When you have answered all of these questions, and you can see here, there's probably about 30 different questions. What you will notice is that you'll get a really clear picture of who that particular person is. And that is who you will market to, because when you have answered those questions, you'll be able to come up with your website copy, you'll be able to come up with your sales copy, and be able to communicate to that person and know their deepest desires. Yep.
The other point I was going to say is that when you have that really well-defined ideal client, you usually can charge more.
Yep.
You can charge more because it's a very specific person that you're dealing with that really value what you're offering them and the solution that you're giving them to their problem. And these particular clients are big referrers.
Yes.
So when you have your ideal client, when your database or when your client base is made up of your ideal client, you will get so many more referrals than if you just had 50 random people that you do random different things for, that no one kind of fits in the same category, because there's no clarity. They themselves not sure who you want and who you're looking for. Ben has asked, when we came up with it though, did we just make it up or did we research it? So for me specifically, it came about over years of learning initially, because I was quite young when I started my business. So I did a little bit of work for some people, and then I thought, oh, I did not like that kind of client. And what I didn't like about him was X, Y, Z. So I knew I didn't want to do that. Then I'd work for a different group, a different type of client. I realized I really enjoyed that work. And then when I got to know the thought leader community, I realized the value of it. And it kind of grew over time, my understanding of it. However, the more I've been in business and the more I practice it and the more that I do and the more clear I am within myself, it is becoming easier and easier. So for example, I have more than one target market. It's not just the thought leaders. One of my target markets are stay-at-home mums, because I often share and teach them how to become a virtual assistant. Now, stay-at-home mums are very, very different from thought leaders. They're living on one wage, for example, is a really big point. That it might have a lot of expendable income. So they're never going to hire me for $5,000 a year for some mentoring or $10,000 a year. It's not the kind of person that does that. So the reason how I got to that target market was based on product. I had a particular product at a price point that was really awesome, and I thought about who would value from it, and I went and tested it, and I was right. The stay-at-home mums, it's an awesome product for them, and they absolutely love it, which is one of my courses that I run.
With myself was a little bit different. Benjamin, I did come up and make it up as to what I thought in the beginning. However, I also asked a few people that had those last 10 kilos to lose if they wouldn't mind answering some of my questions, because it was about doing a little bit of that research, and those people who would I could incentivize to help me out and find the answers to my questions. I even asked one of my friends who was overweight whether or not she could help me out, and she did, because then she thought about it from a different perspective, and I kept adding on that list. And what it is, this particular document should be a living and breathing document that business quite often, because the more familiar we become with your client's deepest desires and what they actually want, then you can deliver on that, and you can create product as well as packages for them to sign up for. Jessica has just asked, will this be sent to us after to watch at another time, like the last one? Of course, Jessica. Yes, all our webinars are recorded, and we will post the recording out on Facebook, as well as send it out to the database who registered for this webinar, as well as probably put the slides in, as well as any templates that we have promised to you guys. So
we're happy to share.
Happy to share all the best bits. So are there any questions at this stage for the how you attract a person? Because it's about attracting someone specific, and not everyone and every single, I guess, Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah. And it's not just about, I know who my ideal client is. It is so much more than that. It's about the fact that, as I was saying earlier, you will usually be able to charge more. You'll be able to leverage yourself better and your content. So instead of writing a different article every week or creating a different flyer because you have 10 different target markets. Yes, Nat also happens to coach these people, and then I also coach those people, and I also have men who are suffering from this problem. Could you imagine if she was trying to market herself like that? She'd have to rewrite her ad every time for a different target market. So by having one, it's actually easier and quicker to reuse and recycle your content in a smart way, and it boosts your hireability. Because think about it, if Natasha was a life coach, or if she was a weight loss coach, and both coaches might deal with similar issues in your life, and you were wanting to lose weight, who are you going to go with? Are you going to go with the generic life coach, or are you going to go with a coach that specializes in weight loss?
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. And that's why you can charge more, because you have that speciality and you deal with with a specific client on a very specific topic. And that's what we're trying to teach you with the Attract Start. It's really important, and it can really make the difference between making and breaking on how big your database grows and how much money you can charge for your services.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony has just commented, do you have a basis for a broad target market and niching for such a diverse group? I'm not sure what that refers to.
What would be the diverse group? I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry, Anthony.
Can you paraphrase that in a different way? I'm not getting that question or what that means. We'll just wait for one tick. He's probably typing up madly at the other end. Okay. All right. Well, what do you reckon? So we'll send the guys. So this is your homework piece out of this particular star, is actually to spend 1 to 2 hours on that particular Q&A document. When I completed that question and answer, it was 6 pages of typed up copy as to who my ideal target client was. And then we have different ones. Like I have a different one for Ultimate Weight Loss. I have a different one for Ultimate Business Edge, and we have a different one for Ninja Business Chicks. So if you have different niches, or you have a different problem that you're solving, you will definitely have a different ideal client. All right, so here we go. I have a diverse group of people and looking for tips on how to niche it properly. So are you teaching people how to niche?
No, I think what he's saying is that with the services that he offers, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, but the impression I'm getting is the service that he offers goes to quite a big group of different types of people. So how would you be able to niche it down? And I suppose the thing here is what you're actually focusing on. So obviously, if you're servicing or you're offering services to what you perceive as being quite a diverse group, they all have something in common, because they're obviously coming to you for your particular service. So, thanks. So what I would be thinking for you is, yes, there might be men, there might be women, there might be in different industries, but in your case, because I know what industry you're in, I know what you're talking about, there would be a common theme on something to do with these people, and that would be what you have to tap into. Obviously, there's a bigger meaning for them on what they want you to help them with. I don't want to elaborate too much. You'll know what I'm talking about. There's obviously something very specific for them and why they're coming to you, and that theme will be common amongst everybody, and that's what you'll have to find out and define who are those people that are actually looking for that solution.
Yeah, and also what I'm going to say on that is Anthony might still have, maybe he always gets ladies who are 50, around their 50s or whatever it is. I'm just making it up. I don't know who they are. However, that doesn't mean that he won't get men, or he won't get 20-year-olds and all that sort of stuff, because it's just the one person who's the one that's most common that visits your business, and you're speaking to that particular person. However, that doesn't mean that you're not talking to the males if they're females, and vice versa.
Exactly. Although stay-at-home mums might be my target market for my course, sometimes I get corporate women coming to do it. Sometimes you get 22-year-old girls who have already made the decision they don't want to be in the 9-to-5 rat race, and they're living at home, so they're ready to put some money into their career and becoming a VA. So I'm targeting it to stay-at-home mums, but that doesn't mean other people can't come along. Definitely, It's so right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helped a little bit, Anthony.
Yeah, he said that makes sense.
Excellent.
Awesome. So let's move on to the next star. We've done our 15 minutes on this one. So homework piece number 1 is that you complete your ideal client document and take a good time to mull over it. And if you can get other people to get you to help you out, especially if they have that particular problem, then to answer some of your questions, then you'll be marketing to that particular target market really, really well. So star number 2, or in this case it's 7, is connect. And 7 is all about how do you connect with people outside of your business, and it's all about the power of networking. So that's what connection is about.
Could this be your most favorite thing in your business, Natasha?
I love networking because I'm such a little social butterfly, and also I ran a webinar class on exactly this topic last night through the Coaching Institute. As I said, I facilitate webinars. So I actually put together a whole hour, and I think I did a whole hour through my business. So why don't we actually talk about this, because I can share that link to that particular networking webinar that I ran for a full hour about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm just going to briefly touch on this one because I think I want to spend the most time on mindset. Do you guys, are you guys okay with that? Because you can actually get, I've already got a pre-recorded full hour on this. Yep, you're all right with that. A few people are saying yes. Okay, so just the one thing I will tell you, if when you're brand new in business, the very first thing that will get your business off the ground is with other business people, and surround yourself by them and learn from them. So perhaps if you have been an employee for a certain amount of time, it's now to start hanging out, time to start hanging out and surrounding yourself by them and learn from them. So perhaps if you have been an employee for a certain amount of time, it's now to start hanging out, time to start hanging out and surrounding yourself by business people who are getting the results that you want, and going out there and doing the legwork, because no one knows about you when you're brand new. Everyone is, needs to be educated, and for your brand to gain awareness and momentum, you need to actually go around. And as I've said to Donna, and I say to a few people, my first 18 months of business, I felt like I was rocking up at 2 or 3 events every single week, and I would just go around and shake everyone's hand like the little prime minister that goes from one event to another event to another. Hi, I'm Natasha Denman. Hi, I'm Natasha Denman. I'm the ultimate weight loss coach. And that was what I did over and over and over again. And I turned up to the same events so I could build relationships. So networking is about building relationships. It takes patience, persistence, and turning up to events time and time again, even if you don't feel like it.
I really, really, really want to emphasize the power of networking and connecting, which is what Star 7 is all about, connection. By far, I know Nat has said this before, but I have to say it again, it will be the quickest way you will find clients. Hands down. Connecting with people will be the quickest way. And often when I teach this in my VA courses, so many people are like, oh, I don't want to do it. I hate networking. I'm too shy. I don't want to walk up to strangers and say hello, or whatever the reason might be. And I really, really want to tell you guys, get over it. Yeah. I'm sorry, but you really need to get over it. And I know exactly what you're feeling like, because I was exactly the same. I know you probably don't believe me, because those of you who know me at the moment, I'm like this massive chatterbox that talks really fast. I was just listening to the podcast Nat and I record the other day, and I went, oh my God, I actually talk really fast. So I know it doesn't sound true, but trust me, when I first started my business 7 years ago, I was so scared to go and talk to a stranger and walk up to a room. And all I could think about was, what am I going to talk about? What if they ask me, what do I do? I don't even know what to talk about what I'm doing, which is why knowing who your target market is really good, because then you can say, I help if so-and-so do X, Y, Z. So networking seems to be such a, oh yeah, I know about networking, I've heard about it, but really, really, you need to make the most of it. It is such an amazing tool that will really make your business grow like no tomorrow.
Yeah. And some networking events that you can choose to attend to, and these are the ones that we normally have been to, Chamber of Commerce, your local Chamber of Commerce. You can attend BNI groups, which are a weekly networking commitment, and they actually have a financial investment in them as well, $1,200 to sign up for your first year, and then you've got a $20 per week breakfast payment. There is HeartLink networking groups, which are women's networking once a month, and you don't not necessarily need to join, but if you want to block out your category in your industry, you can pre-book 6 or 12 months of that particular category, and it's really fantastic for women's networking. I think they do a fantastic job.
It's the perfect solution if you're a woman and you're really, really shy about networking. It's a really nurturing, really relaxed way to get into it. I highly recommend that you actually go and Google your local council's website and go and look at what business events they're running, because most councils run events for their local entrepreneurs, and they're usually relatively cheap or free. I know my local council runs free women's breakfasts where you get a full breakfast spread for nothing, and you get to meet lots of other women. So definitely have a look at what your council is able to offer you, because there are lots and lots of opportunities. It doesn't have to be BNI or any of the traditional ones. There's lots of events that are out there that you can connect with people. And it doesn't even have to be a traditional event. Connection is about connecting not necessarily attending a networking event. You might be able to network. I'm doing my little quotation mark at the moment, at a barbecue, at a party, at a function of some sort. It's all about connecting with people, regardless of how you're doing it, whether it's in a traditional structured networking event or whether it's at a casual, barbecue lunch where you're meeting some people.
Yeah, my husband tomorrow is going to a full day seminar. And at the seminar, I'm sure he'll meet people that he's going to sit nearby, and that's networking. Who knows who's going to be sitting nearby him?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So all of those types of things. Make sure that you also have your sales speech sorted out. So if you haven't heard of a barbecue speech or elevator speech, look it up and put one together. I do promise in the other webinar that I'll send you the link on where I unpack networking in a lot of detail. That you can have a barbecue speech template to put together your networking spiel. Make sure that, I would say a rule of thumb is to attend 2 events every week, and following your events to follow up. So always send the people you've made a connection with an email, connect with them on Facebook. We always do that, and say hello and say how great it was to meet you, and see if you can set up some one-on-one coffee chats, so that you can get to know each other a lot better and start building those relationships.
Because those events that you attend are really just a way to facilitate the introduction and meeting. It's not you don't attend and go, all right, I'll see you next month or I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
You have to follow through afterwards.
You do have to follow through, and you do have to also, I would also say, be a member of a couple of regular events, so that you can turn up time and time and time again, and then people get to learn you. They get to know you and then trust you, and then eventually they'll buy from you because you would have built a relationship and possibly a friendship. I have so many friends. I mean, Donna and I met at a networking event.
That is right. We met at a BNI. I was a guest, and we met and we thought we'll just catch up, and then look what we're doing now. Like, we've done so much in the last 12 months. It's crazy.
So the power of, like, BNI at one stage, I said to people that was bringing in 80% of my closed business of what I was earning. So, and it wasn't through direct referrals, it was the connections that I've made. Like, the connection with Donna and I has generated thousands of dollars in business for both of us. So,
and I really want to emphasize that no matter how tired you are or how you think I really don't want to do this, really keep on going, because Natasha and I have been networking for so long and have built up our network and connected with so many people that it's come to the point where we don't actually have to go as much as we used to anymore. People are seeking us. They're contacting us. We're getting emails. We're getting contacts on Facebook. We actually don't even I've only attended one networking event this year. And I've been getting, I reckon, 10 to 15 contacts every week. People looking to work with me, whether it's do a workshop, do a course, or they're needing a VA or whatever it might be. And so I just want you to know that this is not something you've got to do for the next 30 years.
No, probably hardcore for a couple of years. That's what I found. And now I just go for the social side of things.
Yeah.
And I want to meet up with my friends and get out of the house. That's the intention I go there with. And actually, when you go with that intention, it's a lot more relaxed, and actually results in a whole lot more business because you are so relaxed.
Yeah, because people don't think you're going there to try and do a hard sell to them. You're going there to have a drink and have something to eat.
Yeah, and it's a whole lot of fun. So go have your networking spiel put together. Follow up. Attend 2 networking events per week and schedule in 2 coffee chats with people, and keep that consistent. Consistency is king. So make sure that you're doing it over a long period of time, and make sure that you also treat the virtual world of social media as a networking forum, and you can still have coffee chats over Skype. I've done many of those, so do that. All right, so that's your homework out of star number 2, or 7 as in 12 stars. So we'll move on to the mindset, because there's a whole hour that I'm going to send you that you can listen on this, that unpacks this really, really to a lot of detail.
And also, between you and me, Natasha really loves mindset. She's been itching to do it. I can see it.
Yeah, that's it. So star 12 is mindset. And guess what? There's no hidden meaning behind mindset. It's about how is it that you can achieve the mindset that you need in business to be a successful business owner and hopefully one day an entrepreneur. So with mindset, I'm going to skip across to our other PowerPoint, and let me just open it up, because this was, hang on, I just need to open that up so I can share with you our top 10 mindset essentials as business owners, and what Donna and I have found to be the formula to our success. And both of us live and breathe these mindset principles. So, are we ready for the countdown? Before I move on to it, are there any questions on the last star? And are you good to go for this one? Let me take a drink. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I should just mention, for those of you that have just recently joined the webinar, we're doing some live recording in the room, which we're going to splice into the video and share it with you. So I can see some of you have joined late, and that's why you can't see us, because GoToWebinar cannot allow us to share a webcam with more than 25 people, and we've got more than 25 people on the call. So
Cool.
Apologies, but I'm recording that talking, so you'll be able to see it.
Awesome. So let's go with the top 10 mindset principles, or what we like to call our success principles as business owners, that we want to share with you. Let's go. Why would you need to know these success principles? Because you need for continual growth and success in any endeavor. So you can actually use these success principles whether you have a challenge in your health, your relationships, whatever area in your life, but specifically here we're talking about business mindset. They are the essential recipe that gets you to the results you want. So without a recipe, you cannot have a final product, which would be that successful business. So this is our recipe of how we think in order to push through those moments of frustration and setbacks, which actually occur in your early days of business. And by living them, you become and do what successful people do. So I've read tons of books on mindset, on how do successful people think and what are the things that they do to get and push through those tough moments. And guess what? Because they work, and they always will if followed. So here we go. Number 10 is plan to succeed, don't fail to plan. This is a very big one. This is very important. This is where you start off with. You always have to have your goals set. You have to have your timelines. You have to know where you're going. What is your bigger vision? Any planning is better than no planning.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And setting your goals, and what my tip would be, you would set 90-day goals, 1-year goals, and you would have a 5-year vision. You then break them even further down to 1-week goals. So in my diary, I like to do it manually. Donna does it electronically. That's how we differ.
Yeah. She's so annoying with her diary, her paper diary.
I keep going around ticking stuff off, because I believe the power of putting pen to paper and the link between the hand and the brain is very, very strong. And that is how I like to do it. I do have an electronic diary for appointments that I share with Donna and my family, so they know where I'm tracking. However, when I write my goals, my intentions, and my numbers, I do it all inside my diary. So at the back of my diary, I have my 90-day goals, my 1-year goals. My 5-year vision is actually on the inside of my shower cabinet, laminated, so that when I'm brushing my teeth, I am having a shower and I'm reading my 5-year vision while I do all of that all at once. And so that is the number 10 success principle. We obviously don't have time to talk about these for too much extent, but planning is one of the recipes to get you to the results you want. If you don't put a goal or a vision in mind as to where you're going to go, and you can actually picture it in your head, you cannot get there. I heard an entrepreneur, one of my mentors, say, why can't everyone sort of have an island or a plane or whatever? What makes those people different from people who do have those things? It's because those people who have imagined themselves with an island or a plane or all of those like mansions and stuff like that, they've been able to picture it in their head, and then they can make it come into reality. If you cannot picture it, you cannot have it.
Of course, otherwise you don't know where you're going. What are you trying to achieve?
Yeah, and vision boards. My vision board is right near me. Take a video of that so people can actually.
All right. I'll take a video.
So that's success mindset, success principle number 10. Let's go with number 9. You need to take 100% responsibility. Whatever you do in business, it's up to you how you respond. So some of you may or may not have heard of living below the line versus living above the line. So what is living below and above the line? Living below the line is when you react.
We're not talking about the poverty line here, by the way, people.
No. It's when you are reacting to things, when you're blaming others, when you are looking at setbacks as problems, when you're thinking of yourself as a failure, when you focus on fear, when you're procrastinating. All of those things are below the line thinking. Above the line thinking is where you take 100% responsibility and you're at cause for your life. You have a solution focused mindset. You have hope. You're looking at reasons. You're responding, not reacting.
Here's a really good example. Nat and I didn't realize about the video issue until 2 minutes before we started, and instead of going into freak out
and overwhelm, which is below the line,
and getting upset and thinking, oh my god, there's no point in doing the video. What are we the webinar? What are we gonna do? We just sat here and we looked at each other and I go, Nat, oh well, I'll just record it with my phone while we're talking and we'll splice it in. It'll be funny. We can do some faces while we're doing it. And we're like, okay, because our goal is not for you to see us. Our goal is to share this knowledge with you. And that's just a really good example of thinking above the line.
Yeah, and also what you just mentioned is having behavioral flexibility. So having behavioral flexibility is how can we sort this out and arrive at a solution that'll be just as good, if not better, because I think this will kind of look really interesting.
It'll look cool, yeah.
When it's spliced in and for us to bring it out that way for you guys. So take 100% responsibility. Look at things as feedback, not as failure. And that's actually one of the success principles coming up. And really respond to situations rather than blaming others. No one else will be responsible at the end of the day for your success but you. And same thing, if you give up, you're also taking responsibility for giving up. All right. Number 8, success principle number 8 is focus. What you focus on is what you get, to the exclusion of everything else. Now, I had heard this back when I started out my coaching qualifications, and I really didn't know what it meant. I did know what it meant, but I didn't know too much. What is it? There's just a comment here. Anthony says, I have posted the above the line and below the line poster in several places for all my students to see, and it's amazing how much it changes people.
Oh, that's fantastic, Anthony.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, that's great. And we have a little picture that we shared with Anthony because he attended the full weekend. So good on you. It is an amazing picture. It's a good reminder for everyone, because sometimes we can go below the line, and it's okay as long as we focus on spending 80% above the line and 20% below the line in our life. That's pretty good. But what I find in everyday life is people tend to spend 80% below and only 20% above.
Yeah, if you're going to have a really hooey day and you're going to sulk on the couch, that's fine. Do it. And then the next morning, get over it and continue on.
And you know what? And if you do it with awareness.
Yeah, I'm making that conscious decision. I'm going to be hooey. I'm going to go watch a movie on the couch. I don't want anyone to talk to me. Yeah. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm making that conscious decision. Yep. And tomorrow's a fresh day. I had a very bad week for work the other week. My PA injured herself, and I literally was doing her job and my job. Oh my God, it was so stressful. Yeah. And I told Nat, I said, Nat, this is the worst week for me. This is what's happened. She came back, start fresh. There's no point in being miserable. Just get on and do with it.
You took responsibility as well, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you focus on is what you get. When I started out in business, it's like, oh yeah, that's what happens. But I didn't truly believe it until I focused so much on my business for about the last, obviously, 2 years and 9 months, that about 18 months into my business, I started getting the results that I was after. And I started going, God, that truly works, because I've really, really focused on my business for such a long time with a hint of obsession and, just being really passionate about it. And I could see that this particular principle was so, so true. Before I knew it in theory, now I know it in practice, that it totally works.
Totally. I've never read it as a theoretical thing, but I've heard about it.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget where and I don't want to offend anyone on the call, but I'll never forget the time where I thought, what is this hippie stuff? That's not true.
Yeah.
As the first thing that came to my head, this hippie concept, whatever you focus on is what you'll get. And I'll never forget the time when I was sitting there at my desk, maybe like year 2 or 3 of my business, and I was like, God, it'd be good if I got some new clients. I just started thinking about it and just planning about what I do if I had new clients. And no jokes, the phone would ring like half an hour later with someone inquiring about looking for a VA. And that's when it really freaked me out. And I was like, oh my God, this stuff actually works.
Yeah. And also what I was going to say is I've lost it. It's gone.
It'll come back to you, don't worry.
You talk too much. All right, we'll get on to the next point. I had a great point to make, and then it just slipped my mind, and that sometimes happens. And you know what? I could be upset and go, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. I'm so unprofessional. But it's not about perfection. And
that's the beauty of doing a live webinar that you haven't scripted.
Yeah.
You gotta go with the flow.
And that's the thing. In business, you cannot be a perfectionist. If you are a perfectionist, you're not going to get to the results that you want. And actually, that's not a success principle that I have put in there. However, it's important. It's obviously come up for a reason. And I would say forget about perfectionism. Do it 80%, and that's good enough. Okay, what's your little quote? Come on.
You love my quote. It's better to sell 100 of something that's only completed at 80% than nothing of something that's completed at 100%.
Yeah, so there you go. Let's see if there's any comments. Deborah Brown says below the line equals
first world problem. That's so true, Deborah.
Yeah.
So true.
Awesome. Number 7, success principle number 7 in our business is to model excellence. So modeling excellence is about finding those people that have the results that you're after and modeling what they do and how they do it. So I've been really good at observing different entrepreneurs, and I actually have models that are my virtual models that I obviously don't work with one-on-one. And then I've got my mentors. I've got a business mentor and a relationship mentor in my personal life as and our business. And then I've got people that I sometimes speak to as well. So find those models that are getting the results. For example, so many of the books that you read, perhaps if you read like Think and Grow Rich, I mean, in that particular book, the guy talks about the mindset of successful people that I think he interviewed about 150 different successful entrepreneurs and rich people and worked out what were the common threads as to how they thought to become that person and what is it that the way they thought about. And then I made notes out of that book and I said, well, I'm just going to do that. Exactly that is what I need to get to my to get to success. So work out what these models are doing and observe. Sometimes you can do it through observation. Have a look at them, how they're running their business. Can you talk to them? Can you work out how is it that they handle frustration? Because your secret key to you succeeding in business will be hidden behind your ability to handle frustration. So that's a very, very important, it should be a penny dropping moment for you guys. Your ability to handle frustration is the difference whether you will succeed in business versus whether you won't.
Because there is lots of frustrations when you're a self-employed person. I'm looking at some of the names of the people that I can see on the call, and those of you that come from the VA world, I can see your names, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are lots of times of frustration, and those of you that are not in the VA world, you'll know as well, but I can relate to them quite easily. There will be lots of times of frustration. I'll never forget, I reckon in the first 2 years, I don't know how many pins I threw at the wall, and I think, what's the point? I'm going to go get a job. Many, many times I thought that, but no, obviously I felt my frustration and I acknowledged that, and that's okay. And then I went back above the line and went, no, I've got to achieve my goal. I've got my 5-year vision. I'm going to be retired by 30 and I'm going to keep going and X, Y, Z. So, and the other thing I wanted to mention here, just before Nat goes on and I break her concentration again, is we want you to model us.
Yep.
This is why we're sharing all this stuff with you, because we want you to succeed and have the success that we've got. So just keep it in the back of your mind. Watch what we're doing and how we're helping you and what we're telling you to do and what we're doing to promote ourselves, because they're perfect tips then and there that you can use in your business.
Yeah. So you're here on the webinar to actually unlock what is it, how do we think? I mean, these 10 success principles didn't come out from us copying them out of another book. They came out from us actually doing them in our own life, because if it was maybe another person that you find across the road that is successful, they might have 10 different success principles, but these are our specific 10 that have gotten us to where we are today. Anthony says, I've already started, thanks. And Deborah says, I heard a great quote, turn frustration into fascination, curiosity. Thank you, Deborah. That's a great one. Yeah, turn frustration into fascination. And I actually, when I hit frustration, I remind myself, this is a frustrating moment, and my ability to succeed will be determined by how I'm going to handle this. I actually say that to myself in my head when I hit a frustrating moment. I know that sounds funny, but I go,
I can imagine her just sitting there going, with her finger in the air.
Because I just gotta make it funny because it's so frustrating, and I just have to make it funny for myself. All right, number 6 is ask for help. Success is not a solo act. It was the difference that made the difference from me doing the hard yards versus teaming up with people, asking people for help, those people that I network with. Obviously, when Donna and I met, she had a certain skill set that I didn't have, and we would talk to each other and ask each other lots of different questions. Then we teamed up to do workshops, and that's how we arrived at the Ninja Business Chicks, is because we had a certain set of skills that I had versus what she had, and we go, why don't we mix these up together and leverage and create something and do something that we can do together. Now, we're not saying go out there and get a partner. You can still be a solo trader, and that's who we are in our individual businesses.
Oh, definitely. There are lots of people that I work in the virtual assistant industry, and we don't have a joint business together. We help each other out. She gives me tips, I give her tips. We use each other as sounding boards. We might even refer clients to each other. And when I've got a web question, she can help me out. And if she's got a different question, I can help her out. So we still run our own private businesses. We just are supporting each other when we can.
And I have a favorite quote here. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. And that's where I'm going to leave this success point, because I'm wary of the time that we have 9 minutes to go. We want to get through everything for yourself, for you guys. So number 5 is ask yourself good quality questions. I'm just going to get you to write 3 questions down in addition to the one that's at the bottom here, which is your ultimate coaching question. I'm not going to touch on that one right now. But when you hit setbacks or frustrating moments, this is what you need to ask yourself. So this is what you don't ask yourself. You don't ask yourself, what does this mean? And why me? Because you're going to end up at a crappy answer. You ask yourself the questions, how can I use this? What's funny about this? What will I think about this in 5 to 10 years' time? And what else could this mean? Multiply that by 7 times. So keep asking yourself, what else does this mean? What else does this mean? What else does this mean? Because by the time you've answered it 7 times, you're bound to arrive at a positive meaning. It's the meaning that you place on situations, circumstances, events, people that will determine how you feel about them. Okay, so those questions, if you didn't write them down, we're happy to put them in the email. Let us know. We're just flying through the last 5. Number 4 is say yes, then work out the how. So what does this mean? It means even if you don't know how you're going to do something. So my example I've been giving lately is my husband quit his job 2 months ago, and he came on board in the business. However, we weren't ready for him to quit. He had to, because he was asked to go to a location that was 40 minutes extra either way from home. So he was going to be away from home for 2 extra hours when he was already away for 10 and a half. And we thought, no, sick of not seeing each other and me always working around his schedule. So we said yes. He quit. We weren't ready. He was meant to sort of work up to that by March this year. And when you have the courage to say yes, the how worked itself out, because in January we had a month where we made enough sales to cover a whole year of the salary wage that he earned. So the universe tends to look after you, and it looks after those courageous people who actually say yes and then work out how.
Insert disclaimer here. We're not telling you to quit your job.
Yes.
I just want to say that for those who think, oh, well, Ninja Business Chick, so I'm going to quit my job. I'm just going to go quit my job. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah, and I didn't quit my job for 13 months. I went to maternity leave. I had a baby, and you need to look after core first, and you need to, and you also, when the time arrives, you need to also be brave and do it, and not keep waiting and waiting and waiting for all your ducks to line up. So it's not about all your ducks lining up.
That's a good point, actually, because a lot of times when people ring me up and say I want to be a VA, they say to them, oh, I might start in the next 6 months. I just want to wait till the kids go back to school, and I just got to get the house ready for this. And I'm just like, you know what? It ain't never going to happen. So you either start now and go for it, or in 6 months later you come back and you go, God, I wish I started 6 months ago. It's your choice. Only you can make that choice. And the quicker you do it, the quicker you'll have success if you put the effort into it. So I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Yeah. We touched on this one earlier. So there is not only there's only feedback, no failure. So treating setbacks as feedback and thinking about below and above the line. So every time you hit a moment or a setback, if you look at it as failure, you're below the line. If you look at it as feedback and you ask yourself that great quality question, how can I use this? Then all of a sudden it becomes feedback as to how can you change your behavior and modify that so that you have success next time around. One of my favorite mentors says, once first time you do something, you make an error or you have a setback, it's feedback. Second time it's a mistake, and third time you're a bloody idiot for having done it over and over again, because you know that doing the same thing over and over again, it is the definition of insanity. All right, success principle number 2 is everything is hard before it becomes easy. So none of this stuff we're doing right now was ever easy to begin with. The first webinar I ran, I had it scripted, guys. I had 15 pages of copy.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I had 15 pages of copy written out, and I sat there and I read my pages, and then obviously I would put down a line, stop and ask people for questions, and then I would read, and stop and ask people for questions because I was so worried that I would and and stuff it up. Same thing with my first seminar that I ran in front of a group of people. I practiced it 14 days every day leading up to the seminar in a row. So everything is hard in the beginning. I remember becoming a parent for the first time. It was hard before it became easy. I remember moving to this country at the age of 14, not speaking any English. It was hard. Is it easy now? Of course it is. Starting business, was it hard in the first 12 to 18 months? And even I would even say the first 2 years. I always give myself a 2-year time frame to do the hard work in a specific skill area or whatever it is, a new venture, before it becomes easy. So this is something you've got to remember. It's meant to be hard. Right now, if you're at the beginning, if you're sweating it out, if you're feeling uncomfortable, you're in the right spot, and it is meant to be hard.
Do you reckon though, Nat, I've got a question for you. Do you reckon that now though, when you come across something that's hard, you seem to get over it quicker than you would have?
Yeah.
That's what I find for me. I find that whatever I find hard today, or my tolerance for what's hard is much higher now.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to find something that I find difficult. And if I do, I seem to get over it very, very quickly now than what I would have maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
That's because, you've got the confidence and certainty that you know that the solution is around the corner, or that you will master something a lot quicker. So it's certainty and confidence that increases within you. So that's
so I just wanted to point that out, that it's not like every new thing is going to be that really hardcore hard. It actually gets easier as time goes on.
Yeah, and you're able to handle those challenges and new ventures a lot faster.
Oh, totally.
And our top number 1 success principle is take action even when you don't feel like it, because we know that you won't feel like it all of the time, and neither do we. Getting up for those networking events at 5:45 every Friday morning to get to BNI by 6:30, because ours starts at 6:45 and I'm a visitor host, so I have to be there an extra 15 minutes earlier, I do not feel like it every Friday. And a lot of the other morning ones, I'm not a morning person. However, I take action even when I don't feel like it. Even, this morning I was feeling very, very sick. And I was just like, oh my God, I was ready to throw up. And I kind of said, oh my God, I've got a day full of appointments. And you know what? I just put on a smiley face and I kept going. And after about 2 hours, I actually started feeling pretty good. Sometimes you fake it till you make it, and you do start feeling really fantastic.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There are many days where I don't feel like it, trust me. But I just put my happy face on and I keep all peppy. And then all of a sudden, hey, I do feel pretty good.
Yeah. So we know we're right at the 8 o'clock mark, but we do want to give you an opportunity, obviously, to experience the full 12-star training. And last time we ran this webinar, we had so much interest from interstate, which is what meant it's like we're not going to travel to each and every state of Australia. We're not going to travel to Perth and Queensland and whatever to run a full weekend training. And after all, we are the Ninja Business Chicks, and we do help people to market themselves from the couch. You guys know that our next book is Ninja Couch Marketing, and we've pre-sold so many copies of that one, which is really, really exciting. So 1 month away. So this is your opportunity tonight. And if you do want to experience the full 12 stars, these are some of the benefits you will walk away with from experiencing the full training and getting all the bonuses that we give away. How to create easy peasy websites, all your social media savvy and strategies that will turn into profit with persistence, how to do education-based marketing and set up your customer relationship management system, how to become the well-known expert in your niche, have the credibility, all the marketing smarts that you need to market yourself at low or no cost, because everything we've done, we don't like spending a lot of marketing dollars, not at all. Product development, so that's my specialty, because you guys know that I have a whole niche, a whole business that deals with this. So I teach this within this particular program, and how to make workshops work from you. So there's just so much gold in this, and Anthony's been through it and he knows, and he goes.
If you really want to know what it's like, we've actually got some testimonials on the website for people that actually have just shared what their thoughts were on the weekend. So you're more than welcome to go and watch those videos that are available on the Ninja Business Chicks website under the Explosion tab.
Yeah. So how are we going to be delivering this? We're going to deliver it as an e-training. We're going to deliver it because of all those interstate people that are out there. We're going to deliver it over 4 by 2 hour webinars over 4 weeks. And we're going to go in a lot of depth through each and every one of these stars. There's a workbook. There is obviously step by step.
There's templates. There's lots of resources for you. There's instructional
extra videos
that you can go and watch in your own time. That'll help you step by step on how to do things.
Yep. And those are the times that we pre-selected. Now, because we know that not everyone may be available on these dates, we also let people know that we are going to be recording these calls. So if you do miss out on a call, it will be separated into a special folder, which will then be able to share the file, because it will be only for those people that are attending the full 12 stars.
Correct. Yes, it's only for those people. And we really wanted to say to you, if you just can't attend one of the dates, don't let that put you off, because mostly what you will learn in the recordings will be enough for you to go and do it on your own, and we'll be around if you've got questions and things like that. And what you really, really, really need to remember is that, I love this saying, I say it all the time, any action is better than no action.
Yep.
So if you really want to make this your best year, and if you really want to move forward, you really need to take action and learn about our 12 stars that we know will make your business successful.
Yeah, and the thing is about these I've lost it again. Anyway, let's go on to the next thing. So there is some bonuses. So we're offering some bonuses in terms of for people that sign up for this particular training. There is the Ninja Couch Marketing book that everyone will get as part of it. We're going to give you all our templates that were shared at our recent face-to-face training with the participants, and there was tons of them. Like, I kept adding them to the email to share them with everyone.
There was a lot.
And your implementation workbook, so you can print that off and actually run yourself through it. So there's a whole lot of value. The total value is $5,521, and we have reduced that for the e-version training to $897. However, because there's so many of you on the call tonight, we wanted to reward the first 5 that do take action now and have the training at $797. And there is easy payment plan of $199.25. So what you would need to do is go across to the ninjabusinesschicks.com.au website and click on Explode Your Business. That's where you can watch the little testimonials from 2 weekends ago.
Yep.
And anything that we've promised you on the call tonight, we will definitely be sending out to you. So
the first 5 people that sign up will get it for that $797 price, and then I'm taking that price down. You won't be able to have access it. So get in quick, peeps.
Yeah, Debbie, I'll speak to you about this later. I've seen your comment. I'll talk to you later after the call. Okay, so everyone, we are very respectful of your time. It's 8:04, so we've gone a little bit over. So if you do have any questions, just email us, and
you can even ask on the event on Facebook. We're more than happy to answer your questions there.
Yeah. So we're going to answer any questions that you have, and we look forward to having all the interstate people, because last call we ran, there was just so many said, I want to do this, and then they couldn't because it was face to face. Yeah.
So I'm Donna, the Purple Ninja.
And I'm Nat, the Red Ninja.
And we're the Ninja Business Chicks.
Good night, everybody.